the seventh question. Mr. Kosovich is up first. With many neighboring communities expanding and upgrading their public amenities, performing arts centers, senior centers, athletic facilities, etc., you wrote a question for me with parentheses. I can't save parentheses. I'll start over.
Just did.
With many neighboring communities expanding and upgrading their public amenities, such as performing arts centers, senior centers, athletic facilities, etc., how do you view Franklin remaining competitive in the region to attract residents and businesses?
Well, certainly one neighboring community that is a prime example of something they worked together to accomplish is the Oak Creek Community Center. I've been there on a number of occasions. That was put together through private fundraising, private contributions, and I know for some time Franklin has been talking about trying to put together some kind of a venue where we could have larger events, you know, performing arts type things, plays, musicals, whatever. It seems to have stalled out, and again, we can partially blame that on the economy. You know, there's not a lot of money out there to be grabbed, if, you know, with fundraising efforts, if everybody's struggling just to pay their daily bills. So it is something that I would like to see in Franklin. We don't have a large facility that's going to accommodate that type of a event. I've been to the Polish Community Center on a number of occasions, but again, they're not that large. So there's only so much you can do with what we have here. And if we do want to grow and expand, make our community more attractive to stay in, not that you have to go downtown to see a play or something. There's a lot of land out here, a lot of places that could be developed and promoted, and I think we could do a good job building up Franklin in that respect and grabbing some attention from the surrounding communities. Thank you.
Next up is Mr. Schick. With many neighboring communities expanding and upgrading their public amenities, performing arts centers, senior centers, athletic facilities, etc., how do you view Franklin remaining competitive in the region to attract residents and businesses?
Without something you will not repeat, you will not be competitive. Having been an athletic director for a number of years in a large high school and having run regional tournaments, having run all those, plus right now I work in South Milwaukee. We have a PAC that will handle 750. I have seen Franklin people over there. They're over in Greendale. The bottom line is this: on the west side of this town, you have lots of people moving in with that make a rather good sum of money. And if you think they're going to walk into your middle school and see how overcrowded that is, and then you say, well, let's go over to the high school and see what they can do over there. I'm telling you, friends, I have seen what this can do for a community. Don't know how to get there. I don't have any super ideas, but I will tell you this: as an athletic director, this is my passion, because this is where your community will excel. If you don't get this thing corrected, and you're going to need to collect plenty of ideas on this, but this is where we're going to have to go. And right now, if you do not do it, I can guarantee you your competitiveness for attracting the people that have the dough is going to just go right out the window, or they're going to end up in Greendale. Simple as that.
All right, next up, Ms. Wilhelm. With many neighboring communities expanding and upgrading their public amenities, such as performing arts centers, senior centers, athletic facilities, etc., how do you view Franklin remaining competitive in the region to attract residents and businesses?
I guess I have to agree with my opponent. In order for us to remain competitive, we need to have some kind of draw. We don't have that. We haven't spent the time to do that. There will be initial cost, and I think we've waited too long. Now we're in such financial hard times. It's going to be hard to put that money forward at this point. And the cuts are going to be the top consideration in these trying times. But we need to promote the community and give it an identity that attracts businesses. Who wants to come to a community that has nothing to provide their employees? So it's important that we do something to create this community vision for Franklin and determine something that determines the character of the city and includes what the residents need and the desires of businesses that would want to move here. So that's...
Okay, Steve Taylor is up. With many neighboring communities expanding and upgrading their public amenities such as performing arts centers, senior centers, athletic facilities, etc., how do you view Franklin remaining competitive in the region to attract residents and businesses?
Well, all the items you mentioned takes money. I don't know where you're gonna get it from. You know, we had a survey, I think this summer, was it for the school district or was it in fall? I don't remember exactly what time period it was. And they basically said that we need to do something, but not now. So the question is when? I don't know when, but I know we can't go to the taxpayers and ask for it. You take a look at the football stadium. A couple years ago, we're in the playoffs. We have to go to, we're gonna host a home game against Lake Geneva Badger. And what do? We gotta go to Greendale. We gotta pay rent to use their facility. We don't get any of the concessions. They can't hold a track meet at the high school, anything besides a little small meet, because you don't have enough lanes. So there are a lot of things that this community is asking for. It's gonna come down to funding. And like I said, I don't think you can go to the taxpayers right now and ask for those types of dollars. Now, we can work with groups like the Citizens for Community Development. If they help with some of the fundraising, we do have impact fee sitting there that we could use to maybe purchase land and start working towards doing something. But short of that, there's not a big pot of money lying around for us to get our hands on.